Our top story this evening is from Karnataka, where Chief Minister Siddaramaiah has confirmed that he is once again giving the caste census a shot in the state. From September 22nd to October 7th, this will be when the census will take place. He said that the report is expected by December. The Karnataka Chief Minister has been under a whole amount of pressure, considering that this is one of the promises that the Congress had made in Karnataka. The previous caste census, of course, was constantly criticized as flawed. And so this is another attempt, essentially, by the Congress in Karnataka to go ahead with a smooth caste census. Now, details have been given, including that this will happen with an estimated cost of 420 crore rupees. And Chief Minister Siddaramaiah will be looking to ensure that this time it's done without any controversies, without any question marks. Because, mind you, Telangana, another Congress-ruled state, is already done with the caste census. And that means double the pressure for Siddaramaiah to deliver.
Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah announces a fresh caste census in the state. The entire exercise would cost the government 420 crore rupees. This at a time when the state is facing funds crunch, delaying money for several welfare programs. The caste survey will be conducted from the 22nd of September to the 7th of October, and the report will be out by the end of December. Around 1.85 lakh government teachers will be part of the survey. The caste census budget of 420 crore rupees includes around 20,000 rupees for every enumerator. The Chief Minister revealed that 60 questions will be asked during the survey. A unique ID will be assigned to the houses that are surveyed.
25ನೇ ಇಸ್ವಿ 10 ವರ್ಷ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ನಾವು ಹೊಸ ಸರ್ವೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತೇಳಿ ತೀರ್ಮಾನ ಮಾಡಿ ನಿಮಗೆಲ್ಲ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ ಸಮಾಜದಲ್ಲಿ ಅನೇಕ ಧರ್ಮಗಳಿದ್ದಾವೆ ಅನೇಕ ಜಾತಿಗಳಿದ್ದಾವೆ.
Karnataka Backward Classes Commission Chairman Madhusudan Naik claims new survey would adopt more scientific methods and produce accurate figures, unlike the earlier one which faced criticism. The current budget estimate for the survey is a 156% increase from the 165.51 crore the government spent on the 2015 Social and Education Survey. The findings were junked following opposition from various communities, especially the dominant Lingayats and the Vokaligas. The BJP has slammed Chief Minister Siddaramaiah's census plan, alleging both financial misuse and political intent, calling it appeasement politics.
State government has got no locus standi to conduct caste survey. And in spite of all that, if at all they are conducting a survey, it cannot be done within a span of 15 days. Within fortnight, it is highly imaginable.
The new caste census findings are likely to shape Karnataka's policy in the coming years.
The Karnataka government has announced the caste survey starting from September 22nd and ending at October 7th. In the 15-day time span, 1.8 lakh government teachers would knock on everyone's door across Karnataka, get data on caste and religion and economic and social background. However, the opposition BJP has slammed the government, saying that there's no need of doing this when the national census would happen, and also within the 15-day time period, the state government cannot achieve this with accuracy, is what the BJP has said. Nagarjun Dwarkanath for India Today.
Okay, let me bring in Nagarjun Dwarkanath for more details on this. Nagarjun, what really is the state government planning to bring in as part of this new caste census plan, in its implementation, in the actual data that it collects that will counter the criticism that the previous one faced?
Well, what the criticism was back in 2015 to now was the population percentage has increased, and Lingayats felt that they were shown in less numbers. And remember, both politically dominant communities, Lingayat and Vokaligas, both felt that if the numbers go down, that would have repercussions in assembly constituencies, and the leadership would be questioned by other communities. And hence, they didn't want to have the 2015 data. And now they have forced or pushed the government also and the High Command also to ensure that there is new set of data, and both communities have had set of private meetings with the community leaders to ensure that everyone participates in this caste census, so that people can put out their numbers in terms of the questionnaire as such. 60 questionnaires will be asked, of which 1.8 lakh 5 teachers from the government schools will go ahead, knock on people's door and take data. The BJP has accused the Congress government of appeasement politics because they think that the minority numbers will be inflated here. And secondly, why waste
Okay.
exchequer's money when national census would happen very soon?
All right, Nagarjun, thanks very much for joining us with those details. So, as Nagarjun has pointed out, there are questions being asked about what is the need for this kind of a census when there is a national one that's already been announced by the BJP, by the Modi government. But remember, like I said, there are political compulsions also at play, considering that the Telangana government has completed their caste census. It's something Rahul Gandhi repeatedly refers to. So there is pressure within the Congress also for Karnataka to also deliver on that caste census promise. It's an issue that's rocked both the South and the North, the issue of the caste census. And I want to get you an excerpt of a conversation that I had with a rather esteemed panel at the India Today Conclave South on the contentious issue of a national caste census enumeration, how it happened in Telangana, and if Karnataka is going to follow the same model as that of Telangana. Ultimately, when we look at a caste enumeration, a caste census, will this ensure social justice? The fear is also that there's a lot of politicking over this, that this is reserved for politics, that they do this to gain for certain vote banks, and that it doesn't ultimately lead to social justice, because we've had these conversations. It's never really led to equality.
You can't have social justice without data. In 2017, our Prime Minister had initiated a Rohini Commission, Justice Rohini Commission, for within the OBCs, we have 27% reservation for OBCs at the national level. What is the disparity within? There are 2,633 communities within the OBCs, out of which 10 communities take away 24.94% of the jobs and employment. And irony is that you have 983 communities, they don't have even one job, one education, nothing. They don't have reservation. So to offset this, you need a count at the national level and as a state level as such. National level count is a macro count, according to me. But the more important is the state level count. We need all the state governments to take account. And why? Each state has got its own criteria. For Bihar, they have done a caste census. In 23, they have finished it. And they found out that in Bihar, 94 lakh households have a monthly earning of less than 6,000 rupees. It's just not only for reservation you need this count. It is for your other welfare schemes. Reservation is only part of the affirmative action.
So economic backwardness.
Absolutely, absolutely. To know the economic backwardness.
That's always a concern point that's raised, sir, about whether this kind of enumeration will actually tell you about economic backwardness in some sections of the society. Telangana has actually done that.
Even today, individual welfarism is not going to work in India. It is a caste cultural welfarism. Now that means all the 242 castes, land is not the basis of development of those castes now. Education, mobility, and the employment that both in the private and public sector, and more particularly English medium education has come out as the central even to the Adivasis, Dalits, OBCs and upper caste. Now the caste census of Telangana model is not just counting castes, looking at the socio-economic, educational and women status. We have looked at the total women status. Gender inequality is more striking than even the caste inequality, whether they are Brahmins or Dalits or Adivasis within the hierarchy. We put all 342 castes in the ladder where they exactly should. The last point I would make is, as the caste hierarchy exists, untouchability to differentiation within the society, socioeconomic, educational, employment, differentiation still exists. Therefore, the nation has to go for similar model like Telangana, not just to remove inequalities, make Indian democracy really deeper and humanitarian.
In the post-independent India, we have all seen the difference between the pre-independent and post-independent. We all depended on the Indian state for eradicating the untouchability, eradicating the caste discrimination, eradicating the backwardness. It is not possible. No society could develop without these effective, positive, progressive social movements. So in post-independent India, there is lack of such movements. This is one of the reasons that identity politics is increasing. Every caste is claiming its share and becoming a stakeholder in a way. So there are holes in we the people of India. We the people of India, the one people. But there are many holes. The reason is politics. So while strengthening the democratic principle, democratic practices, we must agree that social justice should not be, or in a way, caste census should not be, reappropriated for political gains and political reasons. And check is the common consciousness of the people. Once the index of the people grows up, then this can be stopped. We need more Jayaprakash Narayan, more Vinoba Bhave, more N.G. Ranade. There are more politicians, less social action people. So that should be complemented. I think that is a real solution of the contemporary Indian crisis, which is centralized on the caste discrimination and caste politics and social justice slogans.
What the caste census is going to do is to measure the maldistribution of assets among various castes, maldistribution of opportunities, maldistribution of power. This is something we need to really understand. That is what caste census is going to measure. Caste is a reality. Caste disparities is a reality. India is one of the most unequal societies on the planet. We need to understand these inequalities basically stem from the way the caste works. So the caste system will tell you how these inequalities are there, how various castes are suffering. It will give you a whole lot of data for you to plan programs, policies, legislations, so that there will be equality in the society. So we need to really look at caste census as a great opportunity for India to move towards equality. Don't look at it from the narrow perspective of reservations, narrow perspective of politics. Look at it as a great opportunity India is having to become an equal society.
Okay, let's move on and talk about the big rally everyone's watching out for in poll-bound Tamil Nadu. Actor turned politician Vijay is all set to kick off his poll campaign from Trichy tomorrow. It's going to be a campaign that goes on for 3 months, starting tomorrow, where every week he's going to cover a different area, different constituency. Now, the TVK chief, Vijay, just before that rally, has issued a detailed statement over why he is going with this campaign. And largely, in this speech that he's, in fact, a statement essentially that he's put out on social media, he's largely lashed out at the DMK government, first saying that they tried to restrict his rally and saying that they failed to fulfill their own promises. Now, he's referred to the conditions. Remember, there are 20+ conditions on his event. So he's referred to these as unfair restrictions on his rally, but has maintained that when it comes down to it, when he's on the ground tomorrow in Trichy, people's love will make his rally a huge success. What you see on your screens right now are some of those conditions that have been put forth. The only way he's been granted permission for his rally in Trichy tomorrow is that Vijay will not be allowed to have more than 5 vehicles as part of the convoy. No crackers will be burst. Definitely not the norm for any other political rally, because you see crackers being used all the time. Elderly people, children are all banned from being part of this particular rally. There should be no traffic jams that are caused in public places as a result of his campaign. Caste, religious sentiments should not be heard. Some of these, of course, are restrictions that are mentioned for every rally. not really followed. We'll have to see if there's a crackdown in this particular case. Let's bring in Pramod Madhav from Chennai with more details on this story. Pramod, we're counting down to that rally in Trichy. What are the preps looking like? You know, we've been seeing massive events taking place as far as Vijay is concerned for the last many months. There have been two big rallies. This one, however, we understand is a little different. He's looking at smaller crowds, smaller pockets that he's targeting.
Well, yes, Akshita, just like you mentioned, Vijay has surely proved that he is a crowd puller, and Trichy is definitely going to see a lot, lakhs of people as per the TVK Netas, and that's the reason this has turned out to be a very big issue, because right now, Vijay's team very clearly mentions that they decided to go ahead with weekend campaign just to make sure that the public will not have any kind of hindrance, which itself was made fun by other parties claiming that Vijay is no one but a weekend politician. But just like you mentioned, 25 restrictions have been provided, and normally the police claim all these restrictions are provided to all the people, like politicians who want to conduct campaigns. Of course, most of them are definitely not followed at all, but Vijay has also sent a letter to his cadres claiming that please stick to all the even though so many rules have been imposed, please stick to them for the safety of the public and the cadres as well. Tomorrow around 10:30 a.m., he is expected to speak at Trichy Marakade. Also, Vijay in the former Madurai campaign also he claimed that as a response to the politicians who are asking why Vijay is not coming every day, he said that a lion will only come just for hunting, and that seems to be his tagline, Akshita.
He keeps referring to himself as a lion, perhaps also because of his film Leo. But that's something, of course, we'll have to see tomorrow, 10:30 in his rally, whether he makes a mention again of this lion analogy that he's repeatedly using. Thanks, Pramod, for those details. We will track the latest on that rally. But let's also get you an image of the kind of excitement, really, for Vijay's rally. There's a fan, and this is, in fact, the video that's emerged of the fan expressing his love in a unique way. A die-hard supporter of Vijay has created this portrait of Vijay, not with brushes, but by actually kissing the canvas nearly 2,000 times. What you see on your screens is just an indication and a symbol, really, of the kind of love there is for Vijay. The question is whether all of this will actually translate into votes.